Alright, so we're in the home stretch, guys. I only have two more games to show you guys, and they are both from the 10th and final week of Apex Season 6 on Global. So as you can see, I have run into Desu Life here, which is absolutely horrifying. As one might expect, Desu Life has replaced Landius with Hilda. So this is going to be the first video where I'm going to show myself fighting a Hilda. Although I did fight a couple Hildas in the 9th week, and she is definitely a very annoying tank to deal with. She tanks better than Landius, she stops room from being knocked back by old Landius, she buffs some of the best characters in the game right now. And I think that's kind of showing here. As you can see, I'm so busy banning some super big threats to me like Reen, Yulia, and even Elwyn because my Landius is gone. So I have no choice but to face down some very scary Tensei faction units. But as you can see right here, Desu Life actually misses a ban here. He actually ran out of time during Big Ban. This probably hurts him pretty significantly because now I can pick up Light of Genesis as a 4th pick. It's very likely that she was on the chopping block. Of course, I was busy banning out other threats that I found a lot more annoying, so I have to face down Light of Genesis as well, and I also have to deal with Arian Rod, which isn't so bad because I have both Rosenseal and Juggler on my side. But Arian Rod is still pretty annoying even if you have lots of AoE healing, simply because Grand Cross is such a powerful attack, and I'm actually not 100% confident that some of my units would be able to survive a Grand Cross as well. I have had units die instantly to Grand Cross before, especially if this is a Judge Talisman Arian Rod. That is pretty tailor-made to completely blow me up, because like half my box is holy units. So even though I have Rosenseal and Juggler here to protect me from Arian Rod, because I decided to bring Layden's 3-cost skill instead of Divine Guard, and of course I brought his faction buff to buff Tensei Jessica, I have to be very careful of Desu Life's Tensei Jessica's attack range, because until I get close enough, Layden's only be able to guard one block, or at least that's what I would be saying if Desu Life didn't decide to teleport his Tensei Jessica here, and then just end her turn. I'm actually not entirely sure what happened there. I can only assume that what happened was that he was thinking of playing aggressively, and then just changed his mind after he casted the teleport and put her back down in place. And he didn't want to consume the Actigan on Light of Genesis either, which I don't think is necessarily a bad move. Because honestly, unless you're planning on rushing very quickly, I don't think there's a necessity to get Tensei Jessica stacks all the way up to max within the first 2 or 3 turns. So I'm just inching people forward and trying to keep people on their guard. Although it does make it a lot easier that he ended Tensei Jessica's turn very early, so that allows me to advance forward a little bit more brazenly, because of course I can keep people under Juggler's Trident Guard at least, to stop Arian Rod from coming in and stabbing someone. The next turn is almost certainly going to be the engagement turn, so I decide to cast Gospel on Juggler here. Now I think a big mistake I made here was keeping Tensei Jessica so close to the action. I do think this is me taking a huge unnecessary risk, because like I said, Arian Rod can sometimes just one-shot people with Grand Cross if she really wants to, and Tensei Jessica is just really frail, especially considering the fact that most people run her with Twilight Star, including myself. But anyway, here's where I decide to engage. I run Layden forward and just pull his Hilda in. Thankfully Desu Life didn't get any sort of mobility up on his Hilda, so Hilda is completely locked in place now. Desu Life probably realizes that he needs to do some heavy damage to me, so he runs Arian Rod in and attacks Juggler. And Arian Rod dips below the HP threshold for a second until Rosenseal's passive healing from her talent kicks in and actually heals Arian Rod back up. So the big well stats actually kind of worked against Desu Life here. Kind of ruined his plan here because he was clearly planning on stabbing Layden and then running forward and Grand Crossing my entire team. But thanks to that misstep, I was able to take out Arian Rod, and with his Tensei Jessica being unable to kill my Layden, he probably decided he didn't really want to go on with the match anymore. I do think this was a match largely decided in Big Ban. Desu Life missing that one ban really hurt him for sure. Without that opening, I would have needed to run Chris or Old Landius as my DPS instead, and obviously both of them are far less effective than Tensei Jessica.